Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. This week I'm telling you all about One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book of the Shepherd King duology, and I found out about it on one of those endless book reviews on TikToks. The story got my attention and I became obsessed. I already read both books, but decided to make two separate videos back to back because I have a lot of opinions. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, misty-locked kingdom of plunder. She needs a master. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her and keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure plunder from the dark magic infecting it, and the highwayman, he just so happens to be the king's nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in plunder and guilty of high treason. Together they must gather 12 Providence cards, the keys to the cure, but as the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to take her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. So, I definitely found a new favorite fantasy duology. I became so obsessed with these books, and I was so hooked into the story that I read them one after the other. Kudos to my past self for actually putting them together in the first place. As I previously said, I found this series on TikTok on reviews about fantasy books that people needed to read, and the premises seemed very intriguing to me. You guys know that I love a good story with a new and creative take on magic, and this seemed like a perfect fit for me. In this first book, we get the story only from Elspeth's perspective, her interactions with other characters around her, but especially her relationship with the nightmare inside her. I found that part of the story so damn interesting that I really wanted to know who he was, even though I had my suspicions being correct, and this connection to the people of Plunder, why he seemed to be filled with hatred, but also understanding and a big sense of justice. I think it was also a great device to see into her head and to start explaining what magic was in this world and how it worked. I believe the author made an incredible work in trying to make it interesting, but also in a way that made sense. We sat by learning about the Providence cards and why they were created, but also the infection and the generation that followed. Each card had like a power, so that was very cool. And I loved how through the book we actually start seeing the consequences of each card. It was I was really so curious through it all because in the first few chapters it was hard to keep up, but then when we see them in practice, it makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, I loved all the characters. I think Elspeth was such a brave woman that was trying to stay under the radar but had a big heart. She was sweet and loved to protect those around her, especially her family. And I loved how funny and sassy she could be with Raven and Helm. Her relationship with Raven was also so interesting, full of sassiness, funny, and sweet moments. One can feel the chemistry between them, and they seem to be polar opposites in the beginning, but there was so much more to learn about each of them. I loved that their connection was very genuine on paper. It felt special, like we as readers were intruding on their moments. They both felt a sense of justice towards the ones they loved, and I think that's what connected them. And all the other characters felt very curious in the first book. Helm and Diona, Sweet Hammery and Jasper too. So many things happen with them, and I'm trying to not give major spoilers about each of them. But even the villains of the book, with the Rowans and the Destriers, were so interesting. It's actually captivating to read a book that pulls you in with each character, that makes you feel like love and anger towards them. Okay, so tune in next week to listen to my review of the second book, To Twisted Crowns, because the second one is even more incredible. As always, if you like this video, please like and comment and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at ritasbookclub for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings.